In today's session, we have Mary Wairimu Karongo from the Ministry of Health. Mary Wairimu is a Deputy Director in the Counseling Department, where she is in charge of the staff wellness. Mary is also involved in school advocacy for mental health, and she is also a member of the Suicide Prevention Committee. Mary, thank you so much for your time. Let's get right into the interview. Dr. Wairimu, from experience, what would you say are the warning signs that we should look out for when dealing with suicide?
Some of the warning signs of suicide: somebody who has suicidal thoughts will isolate themselves from the rest of the family. If it is a colleague, they will stop coming to work. If they come to work, they don't talk to anybody. They will talk about death. They will write about death. They will stay in their rooms. They will probably be abusing substance, and they will get disinterested with life in general.
Now, I'm looking at someone who really needs help, but they are not in a position to acquire the help. Mostly you find that these people are already at their very end. They want to commit suicide. How would you advise such a person who feels that friends and family cannot help them anymore to go about preventing their own death?
When somebody is having suicidal ideation, there are certain things that the family can do. One of the things is to support that person. The other thing the family can do is to check if this person needs professional help. Sometimes this person should be taken for counseling, and the counselor might even find the person is seriously ill and take them to a psychiatrist. The other thing the family members can do is make sure that the person is not left alone, and also something else they can do is remove some of the things that the person can use to harm themselves. Today we have toll-free lines. The Ministry or the State Department of Public Service has a toll-free line where this person can call. Red Cross also has a toll-free line, 112, and this line you'll call and you'll get professional help. Somebody will talk to you, take you through some of the things that the person can do to remove the suicidal thoughts from their mind. So if you don't have help, if you don't have money to seek professional counseling, just use the toll-free line. And also, we always advise that there is what we call psychological first aid. Psychological first aid is a type of counseling first aid and can be offered by anybody, even somebody who is not a professional. So somebody who is having suicidal ideation can even come and talk to you, Yvonne, tell you this is how I'm feeling, this is how bad I'm feeling. Or maybe you can find somebody who is not feeling okay and talk to them, try to probe to see how you can help them. Sometimes when people are faced with the difficulties, some of them just withdraw completely and get into a cocoon. Now, if you people as family, you also withdraw and leave that person alone, then that person is highly exposed to suicide.
Now, let's delve into men's mental health. And I believe as a society, most of us feel that men don't have a safe space to express themselves, to say what's going on with them. And so what do you think can be done to help men channel their emotions better, to talk more about their own emotions?
Yeah, we do encourage men, even as counselors. We encourage them to talk, to share about what they are going through. These days you can even share anonymous. You know, there is the like Alcoholic Anonymous. We also have a Suicide Anonymous, where you can call. When you call and tell the people the toll-free number I've talked about, you tell them this is what I'm feeling, then there is no you are not facing the person, and maybe if you are shy or you didn't want people to see you talking about your issues, then you can do it comfortably using the toll-free lines. So it is important that we encourage these people, the men. They can also write down. When you are writing down, you bring up all the emotions you are going through, and that time you feel safe, because nobody is looking at you and nobody is judging you. And again, we have to stop judging. We have to tell men that everybody faces problem. Somebody sometimes will feel that this is too much on my shoulder. So you should not die with a problem just because you are a man. And it starts at a young age. We keep on even telling our female children, don't cry, you are not a girl. Don't cry, you are not. Even when the boy is seriously hurt and you see him crying, you'll tell him, can you stop crying? We unalia kama msichana, you know? So you are telling men, or these boys, to bottle up, to keep their emotions inside. As they grow, they know they should not cry. They know they should not talk to anybody when they have problems. So they grow up with that mentality. So finally, when they are pressed and they have reached their end, you'll find them committing suicide. And by the way, when a man or when men try suicide, chances of them completing is 80% more than women. Men who try suicide, most of them succeed. Women sometimes try suicide and they don't die, because sometimes you are just saying, I'll kill myself, because you want some attention. If you get that attention, you forget about it. But for men, if you find them trying, chances are they will succeed.
Now, keeping to the statistics part that you've been giving us, what would you say are the statistics, national statistics of the rate of men committing suicide in the country?
The figures we have, we say that they are quite low, because most suicides are not reported. There is a lot of stigma and discrimination surrounding suicide. In some communities, if my brother or my sister commits suicide, people will not marry from my family, because they say that family, they usually commit suicide, they usually kill themselves. So there is a lot of stigma surrounding suicide. People do not talk about it. But generally in Kenya, the 2019 World Health Organization report said that 11% per every 100,000 die by suicide. 11%
Every 100,000.
per every 100,000. That is the figures that the World Health Organization has given us. And last year, the figures were at 420 suicide, and out of the 420 suicide, 3/4 of them were men, the rest were women. And remember, we are saying that 420 suicides, it could be much low, because most people do not report suicide due to the stigmatization that surrounds death by suicide.
And before we delve into the national interventions that are currently in place and are being rolled out, what interventions at a personal level would you suggest for men, especially men, but for our whole audience in general? What suggestions would you suggest? Maybe journaling or anything else you find useful in helping people channel their emotions?
Yeah. Harmful groups, harmful practices, we have some groups such as Mogeke, all those groups, and some of them take some substances. And remember, substance abuse, most people who abuse substance, they are highly likely to have suicide ideation, because remember, most of these substances are depressants. So you take, and once you become addicted, then life loses meaning, and therefore that person is likely to commit suicide. So we talk about wholesome living well. Once you live well, so that your life has a purpose, then even suicidal ideation is not likely to get into your mind.
Now, Wairimu, you can tell us about the interventions at a national level, seeing that you are a member of the National Suicide Prevention Committee. You can tell us more about that also.
Yeah, we have quite a number of interventions that we are taking. For example, we are currently implementing the suicide prevention strategy, which will run up to 2026. This is what we are doing. We have the Suicide Prevention Committee. We work closely with quite a number of stakeholders and get ideas on how to prevent suicide. We had World Suicide Prevention Day. It is always celebrated on 10th October. This year we celebrated World Suicide Prevention Day in Eldoret, and it is a time to sensitize everybody that really suicide is not an answer to the problems people are facing.
Yes. Now, Wairimu, as we wind up, what final remarks do you have in this whole issue of suicide prevention?
Yeah, maybe I would say that suicide has no age. These days you've seen even people as young as 9 years. I think the youngest was 9 years old primary school children. You have seen people 80 years old committing suicide. So let us agree, one, that suicide has no age. 2, suicide has no class. You have seen sons of very prominent people and probably daughters committing suicide. Children of very prominent people committing suicide. The important thing is how to deal with the thought when you get that. We also have a very serious crisis in the police forces, our uniformed forces. You have seen a policeman going somewhere, killing the family and killing himself. You have seen several of such cases. Killing his boss and killing himself. Maybe that person did not even have a suicidal thought. Maybe it was the interaction, what they were talking about, and then he snapped. But because he had a gun within reach, he just shoots the boss and then kills himself. So we are saying that anybody can snap. We need to sensitize people for them to know how to manage unlikely situations that happens in their life. We need to sensitize people about the finality of death. When you kill yourself, you are dead, you are forgotten. You leave your children, your family, and all that. And there is also a lot of pain for the people who are left behind. So we need to sensitize people about that, so that at least each person can take personal responsibility on his life to make sure they don't do that to themselves.
And with that, our discussion tonight comes to an end. My name is Yvonne Kemuma. Thank you for your time.